Today on Plain Display, we answer the question, one of these things is not like the other. One day I was out looking for 3 3/4 inch Star Wars action figures to add to my collection, and I noticed two Darth Vaders that look very similar, but they are very different in a lot of ways. Let's go ahead and open them up and find out. At first glance in the store, I didn't really notice anything different. I mean, they're both from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series line, though. At further glance, I noticed this is a retro, and this one right here, look, it's got more accessories, more detail. So I had to pick up both, find out what's going on with these figures here. I'm lucky enough to have an original Darth Vader to compare this retro figure to, and you can tell they did not do a great job representing what the original figure looked like, though. I get that the fact that they wanted to put a cape on him, but if you're going to do retro, you gotta stay true to the design of the original figure. And I'm not a big fan of the cape. I don't like capes in general on action figures because they just don't look right. But that is just too bulky up front for them, though. Versus the vinyl, what I always thought looked more like a trench coat. You gotta nail the retro look, even with its flaws that they had at the time, because the old school collectors want something similar to this, and even the lightsabers, how they're held, really aren't true to the original figure. The newer one, the right, he just holds in his hand, which nothing wrong with it, though. Don't get me wrong, though. But the old school one had like a really cool feature on the side that would used to slide out of the arm. Now I understand if it was like a cost reason why they couldn't mold that into the figure itself, but they really should nail the functionality of the original figure. And one last little detail I want to point out, though. The original character, his left hand was open versus the new one where his hands kind of clench. I guess you could put a weapon in there. But now this Darth Vader looks like a premium job, though, for sure, for a 3 3/4 inch line. And that's what really drew me to this figure here. The fact that you get two lightsabers, you get two sets of hands, and it looks like you got more mobility than the old school figures do, though. So let's go ahead and take them out of the package. And this Darth Vader is just incredible, though. I mean, I took out the package. I'm not a big fan of capes. I dog them all the time because I think in action figure form, capes are just garbage, though. But this cape fits well on him, for sure. And the coolest thing about this, though, like, it's kind of like got like a little two-layered look to it there, right there. It just does the right job what a cape should do. It drapes, but doesn't crowd the figure, and that's incredible. And I just wanted to do a quick comparison. I mean, these are from the same line. This is from the Obi-Wan Kenobi line. I mean, look at the head sculpt right here. I mean, the helmet looks like garbage on the retro one. Looks great on the new figure. The eyes look horrible on the retro one. The cape is complete garbage, too. If they weren't going to stay true to the original figure, you know, and they wanted to detail this one up, they should have easily gave it the head sculpt and the freaking cape. I mean, for cost-wise, this way they don't have to make two different versions, and it will look a little bit more premium. I understand the rest of the colors and some of the sculpting and the joints on the other ones make it look a lot better, but come on, guys. You guys really dropped the ball on that one. Now, for accessories, he does have an extra set of hands. The right hand does this really cool motion right here to, like, if he wants to use the force to choke somebody out from across the room. And the other one here is just a clenched fist, though, but you can do a lot of posability with this figure, too, with that. Just brings the character out even more. I mean, just wow. And speaking about posability, I mean, the old Star Wars figures, the head only went from side to side, but this one tilts in all different ways. Oh, man, that's freaking cool. On top of that, not only does the shoulder move, but the elbow and the wrist from side to side. So whenever you guys have lightsaber battles, that's a big thing, though. Another thing, too, the feet will pivot. And this is great for standability. I mean, you can kind of have them arching. Now, the old figures, they just kind of bent at the hip, but guess what? This is cool. The knees bend, man. They can fit inside the vehicles a lot better. So my final review for detail on both characters, we're going to start with the retro one over here. They fumbled it, though. I understand they were trying to go for something a little different, try to make it more modern, but just for the pure fact that if they wanted to put a cape on, like I mentioned earlier, they should have just grabbed the cape from this line over here, brought it over there, would have saved so much more money, and the head sculpt, too. I appreciate them trying to put like a little bit of color in the mask with the eyes, but they just got the color all wrong. This one right here, I'm going to grade this one 6.75 out of 10. Now, for this one over here, though, wow. I mean, just a lot of great detail, not just in the cape and the helmet and everything like that, but the armor, how it's done, the different shades that the colors put on there, just really pops. And this one gets high marks on that, and it's going to get it's going to get like a 9.25, easy. I almost went 9.5, but I don't know if that's going too far. For rating the posability of these figures here, I gotta give the retro one a little bit of leeway, mostly because I know it doesn't look like the original Kenner Darth Vader, but it still moves like original Kenner Darth Vader. If it had more posability to it, I would give it a little bit higher score. If it lacked any of that posability, I would give it a lesser score. But I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, which is very fair for this figure. Now, on the other hand, this Darth Vader over here, this is something special, man. I mean, for 3 3/4 inch collectors, we don't expect a lot. This handles better than like an old school G.I. Joe Real American Hero figure back in the day. Because I used to play with both of them a lot, though. And the nice thing about this is, with that high posability, it's just, I can put him in all kind of scenarios with any kind of other 3 3/4 inch action figures, and he's going to look like the boss of every scene. So that's just way good. I'm giving that one also a 9.25 out of 10. And for the fun factor. Now for the retro, I've kind of dogged on it through the whole video, talking about how it doesn't look like the original. But for pure fun, he looks clunky. He doesn't look right at all. You know, I've complained about the cape and everything like that. But it does look like a Darth Vader. But given the options, playing with I would play the vintage one, but I have a way better option over there with the new one, or the better version, I want to say. I would give the retro figures fun factor a 6 out of 10, mostly because I will probably never use it for any Star Wars play or battle sets or anything whatsoever. It looks like a hot mess. In fact, I'm going to take you out of here. I just like to compare the original to the better. This one over here, though, you know, give it a 2. Let's say I got a little diorama going on. Maybe there's a battle going on. But I would pick this guy right here. This is above and beyond a high premium figure. And when I mean premium, it doesn't mean it always has to be expensive. This figure right here is, well, if you were getting into Star Wars 3 3/4 inch collecting, this one is the one you want to pick up. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the Obi-Wan series on Disney. Don't let that be a factor in your action figure choice. This offers not only just the look, but it nails the cape, and I hate capes on action figures. And I'll stop repeating myself on all that stuff, but all in all, though, the fun factor, the fact I can use it with other figures more dominant, I'm going to have to give this one also, you know what, I'm going to give the fun factor 9.5 out of 10. And I'm not trying to be super jealous. I'm not trying to be super generous, because the old other figure back here, he's no good. But truth be told, this one blew me away. I mean, this is my go-to figure from now on with Darth Vader for 3 3/4 inch. And that's all I got to say about it. And thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Know how much I really appreciate you guys. Please leave a like and subscribe. New videos coming out all the time. Going to be doing the Build-A-Figure here pretty soon for WWE. Until then, guys, big love out to you. Take care of each other.